Hello, hello.
How's it going, Gav?
Yeah, not too bad, guys. Not too bad. Good weekend, PJ?
Yeah, it was all right. A lot going on, but hey, getting through it. How about yours?
Yeah, not too bad. Just yeah, just always busy.
Yep. Oh, I can see that.
So I don't think anyone's traveling this week, so hopefully we should have,
It's Thanksgiving. How is nobody traveling?
well, not yet.
Give,
And
where are you going for Thanksgiving? Are you going to
OC?
Phoenix?
Phoenix? Why would I go to Phoenix? Oh, just random spot.
Why not? Phoenix is amazing.
Yeah, Phoenix is cool. No, OC. My folks are there, sister's there, so. But
I'm kidding. You should go to Florida.
Florida,
Miami, right? The conference.
It says the guy who said he's not going to Miami. Thank you very much, Leo.
this is recorded, so I don't want to incriminate myself.
Oh, okay. So don't joking around. Okay.
Don't incriminate yourself.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Are you not allowed legally to visit the state of Florida? Is that what's happening here, Give?
Yeah, give it.
You're like,
I don't want to talk about it.
Gives like, I can't leave California. I can't cross state lines.
All right.
Like, Sam, shut up. It's recorded.
Sam. Peter, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see everybody.
Hey, Peter.
All right, we'll wait a couple minutes. I'm hoping Lee will join us. There's Adrian. I know
Hey, got
Lee's-
myself a new hoodie.
Oh, wow.
Fancy, right?
Very cool.
That's nice.
Looks like it's glowing.
Yeah.
It's like
No, that's just
backlit.
because Peter's pregnant. I want to tear today. Nothing but funny jokes. Nothing but singers. Adrian, what time did you wake up this morning?
Hey everybody, I actually woke up early. I've been running around. I just had a meeting with one of the projects that we met in Lisbon, actually.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
a lot of good. Hopefully we can do something with them. It's a project called GAIN, GANE.
Oh yeah, I know Gain.
Hold on, can't hear anybody.
We're all here, Adrian, but I get sick games every time I do my pull-ups. We saw last
Lee,
week.
wow. Good to see you here
Hey, guys.
after several weeks.
I was in some house on Saturday, so I can verify it's not a background.
Oh, you've been to the garage.
Yes.
Wow. It's a pilgrimage, right? Like I think everyone needs to go to the garage at some point.
Yeah, it's like three tests, and then finally you kill the boss and get it.
All right. Thanks everyone. Thanks for coming. Good to see you all. Lee, I guess I wanted to have you give us I know you did a little overview at the TGI last week, but for those who didn't hear your stories about Lisbon, do you want to give us a quick overview of how that was and what the kind of like the big takeaways were?
Yeah, happy to. So good to see everybody. And I'm sorry I'm late. I don't like being late, but it was a really amazing experience just being out. And I think we're all going to East Denver, 100% of us on this Zoom call, plus a lot more people. We'll even get the Russians there.
Oh, nice.
But Lisbon, so yeah, really great. I mean, we did a lot of work in the last month engaging community. I think if I were to like synthesize everything down to like one paragraph, it's that it's still so early and they're still like the tsunami is coming. And it's gonna be like, you know, the biggest wave in the world is in Portugal, the 100-foot wave. Yeah, the coming wave is gonna be like something that is way bigger. Like I go to events in San Francisco now, and only 1% of the people are actually building Web3, but everybody wants to, right? And so you have like this, you're just gonna see this massive inflow of people. And what made me realize that is the contrast between Lisbon, where everyone is in crypto, but then it's the same like people every day you see, and then coming back to San Francisco and seeing like all these people who are just ready to go, and everyone's starting DAOs, right? There's a thing called the South Park Commons in downtown San Francisco, which is a community of 250 entrepreneurs. It's not a crypto community. It's just like people who wanted to start projects and they want to do it together, right?
It's in South Park?
It's in South Park.
Second Street?
Between second and third, right?
Right.
So South Park Commons had a meetup last Friday, 4 days ago. And I went and I saw one of my old friends there, and he said, the South Park Commons is gonna very soon have to rename itself to South Park Crypto, because everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's hundreds of follow-ups that we can do from the events from Lisbon. Adrian already mentioned some. He's been also meeting people like at TGI. So basically, I'm gonna work on something which I'm calling how to do 10 years of ecosystem scaling in 1 year. I think I mentioned it on Wednesday as well. It's things that we're already doing, but every step of the process, right? Giving out 1,000 grants, funding 10,000 scholars, like, and being able to actually support them in a decentralized way, meaning it's not, there's no single point of failure contingent on us being, you know, having to do everything being everywhere. So yeah.
Very cool.
We can go for an hour and give, but
no, of course. No, that's good. And while you're holding the mic, do you want to quickly talk about day one?
Yeah, so we're hosting a year-end event in San Francisco. This idea basically came out of while we were in Lisbon, just seeing like how much interest, and we've never really done something at this scale, even in our home city. So I think I made the point about San Francisco to a couple of people, Giv and Sam and Steven, that interestingly enough, there's not any other major protocol whose core team is still here that I can see coming out in like a big presence. And so we should definitely be like everywhere in San Francisco. We should, secondly, in January, there's going to be the Stanford Blockchain Conference, and we will be organizing some events around that. We have our Stanford Berkeley Hackathon. So it's going to be 1 week of 7 days straight. And even though it's not our event, the Stanford thing and the StarkNet conference, we're going to put an umbrella over it and call it Silicon Valley Web3 Week. And then we can do a bunch of cool things with that.
Ends with the barbecue, right?
Ends with the TGI, the Saturday, and it's going to be a Saturday TGI at a house. We booked the house already, so you guys.
Oh, wow.
It's throwback to how we started.
Very cool. Good, very exciting. Thanks, Lee. Jack, can you tell us a little bit about all the amazing work you and Soph and Leo, the rest of the team have been doing on shoring up our network and all the improvements?
Yeah, sure thing. It's a continuous improvement that we've been working on, and we will be continue to be working on for the next few weeks. Well, one of the things is to increase the footprint of our infrastructure to not just be in one region of the world, but in 4 different regions in the world. And we slowly, I mean, software's been working really hard at building the infrastructure out. We were going back and forth. And once we flipped the switch on November 15th, we were optimistic it was going to be an improvement, but we were just surprised by the numbers that it unlocked quite a bit of traffic, if I may, coming into our infrastructure. So what happened is we eclipsed a 1 billion RPC call mark just a couple of days ago, and I think it's at 1.2, 1.3 right now, a billion transactions or RPC transactions. So that's evident that there's a lot of potential in the ecosystem, and you know, a lot of users at the client side are just using the dApps that's out there. Thanks to, I tweeted, I think, like, you know, DeFi Kingdoms, Synapse, Curve, all of the DeFi ecosystems out there and NFTs. So it's been great to see how a lot of the hard work is paying off. And there's still a lot of work to be done at the chain level. So at a protocol level, there's some, not protocol level, but at RPC call level, it needs to be updated as well to be able to fend for a lot of the things that's happening. I think there was an event a day ago, or less than 24 hours ago, but that blast radius was dramatically reduced to not as impactful as what it happened on November 11th. So even though we had a similar issue as of November 11th, but the impact was just not too much to be seen at a customer level. So another piece of evidence that the strategy is working out so far.
If I may chime in for just a second, I think it's great to mention that the work that you guys are doing is not just to treat the problem that we were having, but it's also to prevent it moving forward, right? And I think the community feedback that we've seen so far speaks to that. You know, everyone's been saying how smooth the experience has been since. Well received.
And Daniel, having you to help like incident manage this whole thing and creating that postmortem, I think we saw a lot of good feedback from the posts that you've been doing and going out there to talk to the community. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and it's something that I do plan on tackling moving forward. I feel that, you know, offering that level of transparency is certainly appreciated by the community and keeps them well informed. So more than happy to, absolutely.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Can I say something really quick?
Of course, go on.
So first of all, kudos to Jack and team, Soph and Daniel. Thanks for helping with kind of diffuse the situation and really communicate in a way that is super helpful to the audience. Jack, I'm curious about are we able to segment which smart contracts, you know, you mentioned 1 billion plus RPC calls. Can we segment that by smart contract?
Currently, no. It's only a do EVM call, which is any smart contract at this time.
Okay.
I think that's
that level for differentiation. You need on-chain analysis like a Lathan, those or Dune Analytic, those kind of tool on how we are doing on-chain analysis. And those from the RPC level.
We are. Sorry, Peter. Just to add here, so we are working with the Metrics DAO, which is a separate organization who is indexing our blockchain, and they're going to be providing a bunch of tools to be able to query for like really low level information from our blockchain. So we should be able to, like Dune Analytics, once that's ready, it should be this week actually, we should be able to get more granular stats about usage there.
Okay.
Gabe, I remember you mentioned about we work with the Dune. Is that possible to?
We're working with Dune. We're speaking to Dune. They're backed up like everyone else in this industry. They're under-resourced. You know, they've got a huge backlog of partners. So it will happen, hopefully, eventually. But in the meantime, we're going to be able to get the same level of metrics out of our blockchain using the metrics DAO. And you know, the metrics DAO is configured in a really interesting way where they create bounties with data scientists to come in and extract data based on what your requirements are. So if you need to know, you know, tell me what X, Y, and Z did for DeFi kingdoms over what period of time, someone will come in, they'll construct that SQL query to be able to, you know, pull that data out, visualize it, do all the cool things that we want to do with it. So that's coming.
Also, part of the data is on-chain, but a lot of the data that's through the RPC are just on the fly, just like a query that's not recorded on-chain. So I think to get the real story about which app is calling most the RPC, we should log the RPC calls like in a separate place and do analysis on those calls. Some of the RPC contains the smart contract address, but that call will not have a transaction on-chain, right? If you do just on-chain analysis, you only read the data that's have a real transaction on-chain, but all of the RPC calls are just reading data, like reading the balance from a smart contract of the app, right? And that's that kind of data we need to have a mechanism to basically log all of the RPC calls, that like the billion RPC raw data in a separate place, and then we can do the analysis ourselves.
Right. Right. Great. Yeah, we should have a separate conversation about this.
I guess RPC is still the hot topic. So in addition to what we discussed, so I draft a bounty program to basically to solve our RPC issue in a longer term. That's because right now we can spin many nodes in different region to offload the traffic, but this is like a really costly solution. So we're looking for a different solution to separate the storage DB and the compute, so that we can easily scale our compute. And I think RJ already gave some comments. So this bounty is still in the draft mode. So Jack or Keith, you can also take a look and give some feedback on this bounty, then we can like make it official so that people can start to work on that.
Sure. Happy to do that. Okay, anything else on the network before we move on? RJ, anything from what you and Jackie have been working on?
So on the 1 second finality side, the last major piece of the upgrade is fully implemented, and also I tested it locally, which is separate the commit signature. Like right now, one round of consensus, the leader will wait to collect 100% of the signature. But right now, but after this upgrade, the leader will only wait for 2/3 of the signature and put the rest of the signature in the next block or in the next consensus. So this way, we may save maybe a couple of like hundreds of milliseconds, but we need to like see in the real network. But this feature is code complete, and I'll do more testing, and I'll write more kind of specification or description about this, and then the other team can review. On the Jackie side, Jackie, have any update?
Well, the CPU increasement is like a ghost. Yeah, I'm still discovering it, but not much progress. On the other side, I'm doing some other code changes and optimizations against the DNS tags, as well as the rate limiters and something and the RPC stuff adding to the code. Some PRAs on the fly.
Okay, great, thank you.
And also, there was a long-term issue we were facing and discussing our on-call review meeting, the beacon out of sync and the out of memory. So it turns out that we under provisioned our node on shard 1, 2, 3. So those nodes we used to have like a lower configuration with only 2 gig of the RAM. So after we upgrade to like 8 gig of the RAM, and we don't have any picking out of sync and out of memory issue on those nodes.
Do we still have the memory increase on that nodes?
Very, very little. So it's not there anymore. It's pretty stable.
Okay, really, that's good.
Yeah. So that's why I want to update, and I just had a discussion with yourself this morning. So it's kind of as RJ also mentioned, it could be like we increasingly use the cache, and then over the time that they consumed all those memory, but not like a leak. It just been used a lot of cache, and then once we increase the memory to a certain level, like 8 gig, then we don't see that.
Okay, I see. Very grateful. Thank you.
So yeah, you can take that off your plate, Jackie. Yeah.
This is like a goal for several months, actually.
Before we move to just launch updates, I wanted to quickly turn it over to Sam, who is barely awake.
I mean, Lee's totally awake, and Adrian's totally awake, and they were all there at the same time as well. So thanks, Give.
But we're older.
Yes, we are. We have
older
kids
and weaker.
Older and weaker, and require more, substances to help us up and running. Okay, Miami. Actually, let me hit this really quickly before I get into Miami. One of the things I'll be reaching out to all of you guys to do, and also to the various different members of the DAO, is I'm going to be publishing a retrospective later on in this year that talks about the things that we have done really well with organizing the DAOs, but as well as the things where we may not have executed perfectly on how we've done them. As you guys all know, DAOs are brand new, and there's a lot of learning that's going on across the space. And I just want to capture that learning, especially with our experiences, and figure out how we can do it better. So put a pin in that, watch for that over the next couple of weeks. Miami. I actually just got a text from my wife saying I have an obscene amount of boxes outside my front door. So Adrian, if you were waiting to pick up those for Berkeley, they are here. But we have a big event happening in Miami next week. I leave late night Saturday night, and I'll be there all week next week. So we have a 20 by 20 booth at Decentral, which is a 2-day event. And Rosa thought that I just got kicked to the curb by my wife because I'm never home. The
booth looks fantastic, by the way.
The booth does look amazing. And we have 3 main companies that are kind of our central pillars. This is Madden NFT, this is Harmonies, and DeFi Kingdom. But we are also having a launch table. So this launch table is going to be for any of the smaller organizations that need to get on, kind of just hang out and come talk with us and show off their wares. These are companies like Seek NFT. Let's see, Sociogenesis, Artemis is going to be there. I'm reaching out to several others like Space Misfits and Crypto Royale and Cosmic Universe, just to see if they're around. And if they're there, we can get them a ticket. So please, if you have any ideas of people that you think will be there, let me know. Put me in a Telegram chat or something with them, and I can coordinate that. And we're also going to have like a pre-dinner and a post-event party on Tuesday. We're working on figuring out a breakfast scenario. We almost had a food truck with like breakfast burritos and stuff, but apparently the convention center does not like food trucks. So we have to kind of find another solution there, but we're working on it. And I have some really good people on it. Rosa, Boris, and Devin, and Nura. We have, good people coming together for this. Any quick questions on the Miami event that I can bring you guys up to speed on?
I'm not sure if it's still worth it, but I've been trying to add a scholarship in layer 3. Someone is doing it and they have successfully passed 2, but I don't know who or she is, and I'm asking for help because I haven't been able. I don't know. I rate is not, I don't know. So if someone knows how to post the layer 3 scholarship fast, please let me know so we can set it up soon.
So that's a direct question to Lee. Lee, do you want to help us get our scholars on layer 3?
How many days do we have? 9 days. Right?
A week? Yeah, it's like 7, maybe 8. We're at the stage that it's like, wow.
Oh, yeah. If you think it's still worth it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think let's talk about it offline. We don't need 20
Perfect.
people doing this.
Yeah, I agreed.
Doing this.
Yeah, I've been trying to find the right person to do it, so I don't have to put a lot of time on that. But yeah, whatever I can do to help, let me know.
So it'll be fun. It'll be really exciting. The Decentral conference is happening at the same time that the Art Basel conference is happening in Miami, which is the largest art conference in the world. And so, of course, there are a lot of NFT projects that are coming through that we can have some really good conversations with about how great non-fungible tokens are. Excellent. If there aren't any questions, I'll throw it back to Give.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
I wanted to say
Rosa's
something.
got a question.
Yeah, related to Miami. One, we need access to the official Eventbrite, like Nura has done already, or art, or to promote it, because we're just 1 week away. And also we've done another event on Wednesday with our partners. Do you remember, Sam? It's going well, but I think that sometimes, how do I say, we need to be a little more picky in a good way with our partners, because I think we are super different. We are quite laid back and we are super legit. And they were like, hey, do you want us to pay for limos to go to the event? And we're like, we are totally against those limo thing and all, you know, the crypto bros. We're everything but not that Miami thing that we don't like.
Only
so
Lambos.
It was more Nura and I say, no, we don't do that. No, we don't. So it's not a matter of having the money or not, more than the message you are sending by the way you position yourself and the kind of events you do. So it's been funny, but it's been also a little bit educational with them. Like, if you want to partner with us, that's not the way.
Right. So Rosa, I do have the login information for Eventbrite, so I will get that set up. And also regarding that particular event, you're 100% correct. But this was an event that they are very enthusiastic. This is Tony from Pledge, who came and brought in and Cook Finance and a couple of others, and they're just so excited to be able to do something with us. And we just want to make sure that it has our standard of care, kind of our what's the best way? It has our brand. It's consistent with what the excellence and the brand feeling that we go out with. So, which just means we have to tell them that, no, that's cringy, guys. That's very crusty. So, so yeah, that's it on Miami, unless there's any other questions.
Just a reminder that this is recorded, so just bear that in mind. Just FYI.
Thanks, Gib. Did I say something untoward?
No. I'm just to remind everyone, because I know sometimes we forget that this will be shared publicly. Okay, thank you, Sam. So a couple of quick product launch updates. Main one, I guess we can start with Btc Bridge. Ganesh is on the call, but Yuri, would you mind giving us an update on where we are?
Yes, sure, I can give you an update. So last week, I found one issue with Taproot BTC upgrade. So we need to upgrade our relay smart contract. Ganesh has worked on this. So, and right now I have deployed a new contract, and today we will continue testing on mainnet. So it is the first point. Next point is that we waiting Chainlink for mainnet to get working Oracle, because right now we emulate it with Binance price with special client. And also we have slow mist audit bug report, and right now Ganesh are working on fixing for smart contracts. On front-end side, we start work on mobile version, and I think we will finish it in 2-3 days. And also last week I have added special monitoring for vaults, and after block for vault when vault do unregistered transfer from BTC address. So when vault when vault try steal tokens, it should block automatically. So it is allow create external vaults. So also I will test this feature this week.
Great. Thank you. That's a good segue for Peter, I guess, to talk about both the Chainlink integration and also our partners, right? Our BTC partners, Btc Bridge.
Yeah, before I get to that, let's, I think we need, on these product launches, I recommend that we do like a daily stand-up for these, because Chainlink was not one of the requirements that I was aware of. And so, and I don't want like things like that to just like creep up. And I think when we think of like launching a product, it's it includes the marketing piece, the partner piece, and we just need to get all of that together. And granted, I've been kind of not fully present, but now that I'm trying to get back in, like that's one of the key black holes that I'm seeing, big gaps that we have. As far as Chainlink goes, I reached out to them earlier this week. They're doing the private mainnet onboarding for like 5 or 6 different partners right now. It's still on track for like early December for public mainnet. And that's really where we are right now. And so they're just working with onboarding some of these partners. And by partner, I mean other protocols. The blog post announcement is done. Chainlink wrote it, and it's we've edited it, and it's ready to go whenever they are. And that's where we're at. Now, Yuri, if we need the Chainlink, if we need Chainlink like integration, then that's just something we need to talk to them about and get that tested. We need to be part of that private mainnet, at least for the bridge.
That's not a blocker though, is that right, Yuri? Because you said we're using Binance's price feeds right now.
I think it is not blocker. So we need it for production, but it is not blocker. We can work with our current client. Mm-hmm. So follow traffic, I think it's okay. But for but for more high traffic, we should have better security for price, because client is unsecure.
I'm not comfortable launching with the Binance feed for like, that's something that could, if there's any glitch at all in timing, like that can be arbed really badly. And so I think we would need a Chainlink, something decentralized, better security.
Exactly.
So let's then, can we speak to them, Peter, and see if we can be part of the private trial?
Yeah. Before I forget, let me just kind of make a note of that. The other piece, what was the other thing?
It's about partners, right? With Sushi and one BTC liquidity pools.
Yeah. So no update other than what they just shared on Telegram, which is they're planning on adding that, I think, like this week. Mm-hmm. So other than that, we've got Tranquil is going to integrate kind of some lending on one BTC. And cap it at some number of BTCs kind of level. And then Sushi is going to add the one BTC and one BTC pool. And that's as far as I know right now.
Okay. Thank you. Good. Any questions on BTC Bridge before we move on? Okay. Jenya, can you give us an update on the Trustless ETH bridge? Sorry, yeah, go on.
While we're talking, like this is also why it's important we firm up these dates that we're making public, because it's
Yes.
pretty clear that like we're not ready. And so we've got to update these dates so that we can make an accurate social contract with the community.
That's right.
Otherwise, we're going to see tweets all over the place, and it's just not going to be a good thing.
That's right. Yeah, those dates need to be updated constantly. So that's why we have a recurring calendar event that asks everyone to update the dates Monday morning. So if you haven't done that, please do go through that. Make sure the dates are accurate. Yeah. So one of those things that's kind of supposed to be launched today is the Trustless Ethereum bridge, but we're obviously behind on that. Jenya, do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, it's contracts are on testnet right now. I'm working on relayers and UI stuff. So basically, I'm reusing some parts of Btc Bridge, so I can save time. But like actual launch date, it would be the end of December, like December 20th.
Okay, let's please update the dates on our launch page.
Yeah, yeah. Ganesh already like wrote down some notes, so we will update.
Great, thank you. Leo, NFT bridge.
Yeah, all bridge time. So NFT bridge, we deployed the smart contract on mainnet last Monday, and also updated the front end as well. But during the test, we found some issue. So the issue has been fixed and then deployed already. And so I need to do. Also, I did an interview with Adrian about the video, and I prepared the Medium post as well. So the next is I still need to do final test on the mainnet to make sure like it's working fine. At least from my testing, it should pass. I think it should be ready like in this week. Yeah, make it public. Right now, it's already public. Just we haven't announced. So we are doing the final test on the mainnet, right? The previous auto test on the testnet, and then mainnet we found the different issues.
Got it.
Leo, I have got one question. Is it true that after the NFT is bridged, the NFT is immutable?
What do you mean immutable?
It cannot change the URL, the property of it cannot be changed. It's
So that's actually is a more complicated issue. So the URI for NFT is actually varies a lot. There is no single standard. Some of the NFT using on-chain data, some NFT use other different source of the URI. So right now we're looking for only support the basic situation. Mostly we're going to use OpenSea, the API to do some verification. So it probably won't cover all kinds of NFT because the NFT is also like many different, just like our ERC20, remember some of the contract not a standard contract. So NFT also even more various. It's not going to be a standard one. So we can only support like a basic standard NFT contract, right? If it's not a standard one, we probably won't be able to support. But yeah, I think that we should be able to support the basic one from OpenSea. I'm doing the test using some of the NFT I have on OpenSea, so to verify the basic cases.
Okay, so another question. Sorry. So another question is, after the NFT bridge, will it have a different display at DaVinci? Like, if we have
it can be imported to DaVinci. That's I already asked the.
Yeah, because from my knowledge, if it's OpenSea, like this marketplace, they display contracts based on they display NFTs based on contracts. Different contracts have different categories. But for the bridge NFTs, this is different.
We use the standard.
Okay.
Standard contracts.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Leo. Any other updates or any questions, concerns, queries before we go to the breakout rooms?
So actually, one more thing regarding the bridge. So I was talking to some other people regarding the experience using the Avalanche bridge. So they mentioned one interesting feature. So I want to get some feedback from the team, just quick. So when people bridge to a network, for example, like Harmony, right? If they need to do any transaction, Harmony, they need the one token. If they don't have the one token, it's going to be a trouble for them to do any transaction. So on Avalanche bridge, they have a feature. If you bridge enough assets over their bridge, they're going to give you free, like a minimal number of the AVAX tokens so that you can do transaction over there. So that's the thing about that. If people, they don't have any Harmony one token, but they bridge assets into Harmony, they won't be able to do anything because anything you need some gas fee. So we can also think about other feature. I'm thinking to add a bounty to support that feature to based on the amount of token, and you give you like one token so that you can do all kinds of transactions.
Yeah, we had talked about potentially having a faucet that's makes it very easy for folks to be able to cover fees and whatnot. But yeah, let's talk about that. Peter, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to agree with Leo. I mean, it would be more user friendly if we made this available outside of a faucet where it's kind of a pull. Rather, it's kind of, we just give it to them almost like, whatever address they use to bridge, we just give them some one tokens right there for gas, which is what Avalanche does, Matic does. And it's something that I think would be just very user friendly if we were able to do that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay.
There are some updates in Chain API, well, the client and the APY too. So you can look at a Notion, but especially in the APY, they're well some good advanced with the contracts. The only bad thing is they don't have testnet, so we have to do all the development on mainnet. But it is what it is. So yeah, everything is updated on Notion if you want to get.
Okay. For folks watching, that's on harmony.1/launches. Okay. If there's nothing else, I will send you all off to the breakout rooms. Have a great week. Speak soon.